Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 2 of Vlogmas. Welcome also to my 100th episode of Books Beside My Bed. There is a special guest here today. This is Benny. He's my family's dog. He's staying with me for the day, but I don't know how long he'll stay in the videos because he's not a huge fan of this. He may just sit in the background or sit in my lap. I don't know yet. Hello. He does occasionally make appearances in videos when I'm looking after him. Hello. Yes. I love you too. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit down? Are you going to sit down? So he's going to be my assistant today. He's my filming assistant while I film videos for Vlogmas. But you guys are here for the books, so let's get into it. This is my reading week from the 24th until the 30th of November. I read 6 books this week. All of them were adult books. I read a total of 1,935 pages and my yearly reading total is up to 354 books. This week I participated in a bunch of different readathons. The Bookmon Catchathon was ongoing. I was participating in Believeathon, excuse me, but I didn't actually read any middle grade books this week just because I got distracted by the books that I started in Contemporary-athon and then continued to read the series. So that happened. Okay, so the first 4 books that I read this week were books 2 to 5 in the Fake Boyfriend series by Eden Finlay. The first one was Trick Play, which was published in 2018, and I got all of them from Kindle Unlimited, so they're Kindle releases. Trick Play I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It follows the main characters of Noah and Matt. Both of these guys are side characters in the first book in the series. Noah is one of the best friends of Maddox and is sort of a rich playboy who's sort of been forced to follow in his family's footsteps and go into politics and that sort of thing, but it's not his favorite thing in the world. And Matt is a footballer who has been outed very unexpectedly and in the worst possible way. In order to clean up Matt's image, he pretends to date Noah, and the two are photographed and interviewed in various places, and the whole thing is, you know, purely a publicity stunt until they start falling for one another. The third book in the series is Deke. This is a 2019 release and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's probably my favorite book in the series after the first book, or it might even be, I even like it more than the first book, but I do have a soft spot for the first book because the first book was great. This follows Ollie, who is a hockey player. He unexpectedly meets this really great guy when he's going out for dinner with his family, and this guy, who calls himself Clark, has dinner with Ollie and his family and pretends to be his boyfriend to help Ollie out because his family can be a little bit overbearing. It turns out that Clark is actually Lennon, who is a sports journalist, and he has quite a few morals and he's not planning on outing Ollie, but Ollie finds out from other people that Clark is actually Lennon and a sports journalist, and sort of that skews things a little bit. But the two eventually decide to pretend to have a relationship because Ollie's family still believes that they're dating. This one I really liked just because Lennon is a precious little snowflake who tries to do the right thing all the time. I also really liked Ollie's family, who, even though they are overbearing and they don't always do the right thing, you can tell that they really, really love Ollie and they want the best for him, even if they don't always go about it in the right way. Book 4 is Blindsided. This was also a 2019 release. This follows Miller and Jackson, who are both, I can't remember if they're the hockey players or the footballers. I think they're the footballers. They're footballers, so it's going back into the footballers. And they were side characters in all the previous books. This is the first book in the series that does not have the fake boyfriend trope in it. Miller and Jackson have known each other for a very long time. They met each other in college. They've had fun and played around with girls and done all that sort of thing. And in this book, they're forced to question whether everything they've done is just fun or whether they actually have feelings for one another. And it was enjoyable. I think I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. And the last book in the series is Hetrick Again, a 2019 release. This one follows Jet, who is Matt's younger brother, so Matt from book 2. His younger brother, who has followed a career and become a musician playing in quite a famous band, and his relationship with Soren, who is another hockey player and friend of Ollie and the rest of the crew. They had a one-night stand years back, and in this particular book it is about them reconnecting, overcoming past hurts and deciding whether or not they want to actually have a relationship. Again, this one doesn't have the fake boyfriend trope. Soren ends up going on the road and touring with Jet and his band. This time, instead of seeing a lot of the sporting world, which is prevalent in the rest of the books, we actually get to see the music industry. These books were just pleasantly surprising overall. I really liked all of the characters. My favorite pairing is probably Ollie and Lennon, but I really liked all of them, and they all pop up in each other's books, so you've got that continuity, and they're all really good friends and they all look out for one another, and I think that was really nice to see in a series. There is a collection of short stories that I think take place in between all of the different stories. I don't know if I'm going to read that one yet because I'm quite happy with the stories on their own, but yeah, I'm really glad that I read it, and it was just different. I don't normally read sports romances at all, and this one had football and hockey and things that I don't really understand, but okay, I'll go with it. You're just not going to settle, are you? The next book that I read was A Madness of Sunshine by Nalini Singh. This is a book I've been eagerly anticipating because this is her first foray into sort of the mystery thriller genre. It is a 2019 release from Hachette here in Australia, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did receive this as a review arc on NetGalley. This book follows Anahera and Will and is set in New Zealand in a very small coastal town. Will is the local police detective who is assigned to the town, and he's assigned there after some things happen in his career and his superiors decide that it's better to get him out of the way and out of the public eye, despite being a very well-respected and decorated officer. Anahera is originally from this small town, but she left in her late teens, got married, and had a very successful pianist career over in London. And then at the start of the book we find out her husband has died, and upon his death she discovers that he has been unfaithful to her when his mistress turns up crying on her doorstep pregnant. Anahera decides to go home, and there she rekindles relationships with her friends from her childhood in the town, and also meets the new town detective, and the two sort of have this uneasy relationship to begin with. But a few days into her return to her hometown, one of the most well-loved teenage girls in the town goes missing after she has gone for a run, and it rekindles the town's fears about a serial killer and the mysterious death of 3 women many, many years earlier. Throughout this, Anahera and Will begin to work together because he's the only police presence in the town, so you see the small town actually pull together as you have everyone out looking for the missing girl, and you see how Anahera and Will's relationship develops as a result as they build trust, because they're both outsiders in a way. Despite Anahera being born in the town, she's been away for long enough that some things have changed, and together they work both these mysteries. I won't say that the ending was surprising, but what it did do was it made you question the relationships that you have with people and how well you really do know people. So I thought that was interesting, and I think it's a really good effort for her first mystery thriller book. And the last book I read this week was The Power by Naomi Alderman. This was part of my Book or Revisited series. I was gifted this book last year for Christmas. This is a 2016 release from Penguin, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It is a dystopian book set in a world where women suddenly begin to develop the ability to shoot electricity or lightning from their hands, and only women have this ability. And it's about the power dynamic shift between men and women and how men react to women suddenly having a lot of power and the fear and distrust that comes from it. It also highlights how women in power can then also go in the complete opposite direction and then become the tyrants. And that was probably where I had some issues with this, because it does go so far in the extreme to women taking over the world, which I've got no issue with women in power, but I would like to think that it wouldn't go to this extreme, but what have you. This is a literary fiction dystopian. Honestly, it just felt a bit meandering at times, which is why I didn't rate it high, because I really like the concept. I think it's really cool. And some of the characters are really awesome and the relationships that they develop. But overall, I just think it was quite slow in the end, or slow for me. It was an okay read. I'm glad that I've read it. But yes, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure dystopians are my thing anymore. So those are all the books that I have read this week. I'm not going to be doing a TBR game pick for the coming week just because I've got the 'Tis the Season-a-thon happening and I just want to make sure I get all those books read. Plus there's a few school events and things happening. It's just going to be a bit crazy. But there will be a new TBR game pick next week. I also haven't done the stats wrap up for, I realised, October or November, and what I might do is at the end of December is just do an entire quarter wrap up, and I think that will just be easier. So apologies that I haven't got my wrap up for stats, but I will get to that very, very soon, I assure you. In the comments below, let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're planning on reading them. Otherwise, let me know what you have been reading recently. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my next Vlogmas video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.